Gerard, the Essex Police Authority met yesterday. Probably one of the most important meetings you've had for a long, long time. How did it go?
Well, it was very interesting. We had 3 votes, one on 3.95% increase, another one on 3%, and another one on 2.65%. The Police Authority rejected all 3 of them. We then adjourned the meeting for about an hour, and then what happened was, over a cup of tea, negotiations happened, and we came with a figure of 3.4% that everyone was happy to accept. The precise figure is 3.47%, which means an increase of £4 a year.
So when you say £4 a year, is that good? Is that value for money, or how can you translate that to the people of Thurrock?
Well, effectively, it's 8p a week. That's what the extra on the police tax is. Now, had we gone up to 3.95, and the Chief Constable did warn us at the start of the meeting, anything below 3.95 will lead to further cuts in police posts and obviously civilian posts. Now that's extremely disturbing. Now I don't blame the county Conservatives. The blame fairly is with Cameron and Osborne. They were told by Her Majesty's Inspector of Constabulary that 12% efficiency cuts over 4 years were achievable. 20% you're into the front-line policing. And of course Essex has had the proud record of having good value for money, and of course now it starts off at a very low base. We were told yesterday we're the 2nd cheapest in all 43 forces, the council tax. Well, that sounds all very well and dandy, but in effect, because of the cuts in previous years by previous police authorities, it's left us in a very weak position. And I'm concerned that there's one thing that will be abundantly clear: the criminal fraternity will not stop if Essex Police cuts 400 officers or 450 officers by 2014. Crime will still carry on. And that's why I say the blame is not with the county Conservatives, it's solely at Cameron and Osborne for this neglect, and it is gross neglect.
What would need to happen in Thurrock for there to be a, I don't want to use the word crisis, but how would people in Thurrock really see the effect of these cuts?
Well,
because they would have gone, you know, let's take the news yesterday,
yes,
when there was a man causing a disturbance in the Inland Revenue at Crown Road,
yes,
you know, 6 police vehicles there very quickly, there's
yes,
a negotiator comes within the hour,
yes,
and last night in Tilbury, you know, big police presence with the fire, supporting the fire brigade and Thurrock Council.
yes.
But what would, so people must think, well, policing goes on as normal, whether it's 2012 or 2002, it seems to be the same to me.
Well, at the end of the day, if you're cutting 400 police posts, that is a significant amount. Let me explain it this way. When I was chairman of the police committee back in the 1993, we had an establishment of 3,150. We now have an establishment of 3,600. We're going to cut 400 officers at least. That means, in effect, we're going back to the levels of police posts to the 1993. It's absurd. We've had inflation. We need to protect. You know, let's Cameron and Osborne take a good hard look at Whitehall. Start to cut the fat from Whitehall and let the police get on with the job they want to do. I've talked to many police officers, and the other thing that really concerns them is this new police commissioner that will be operational in November. You know, there are chief constables waiting to see the outcome of the election and who's the police commissioner before they make a decision whether they retire. That's how farcical. And of course, again, it's Cameron and Osborne. They've gone over to America. They've seen New York and Los Angeles. We are not America. And they must start to realise that and stop the destruction of what we would term as policing within the UK. There are some senior police officers that are very concerned about the Conservatives. But of course, they're not allowed to speak out as I can.
Does it help, we've gone a bit off topic just to this question perhaps, but does it help that last time at Thurrock in the full council we talked about no alcohol zones?
Yes.
And I don't know if I'm reading Chief Inspector Baxter's face and Jim Nicholson, the council officer, who is a former assistant chief constable, but they looked as if to say thanks very much for giving us another law to enforce. Is that a fair assessment of the no alcohol zones?
Well, the no alcohol zones, I mean, let's be clear, the police have always had the power to confiscate alcohol. So, you know, let us be clear, you know, we're only asking them really to do their normal jobs. But of course, when you reduce police posts by 400 by 2014, there will be no growth. Then of course, you start to stretch the force. And where are the cuts going to come? Will it be neighbourhood policing? Will it be frontline policing? Will we not replace the cars as quickly as we do now? You know, there will be consequences of these cuts. And at the end of the day, you know, I represent residents in Chadwell St Mary, and as the Thurrock police representative, you know, I not only represent the people of Thurrock, but it's the people of Essex, you know. It's about Thurrock, Basildon, Harlow, Colchester, Clacton, Chelmsford. You know, we've got to get it right. And when we cut, there are consequences, and people will see those consequences.
When you're in the Essex Police Authority and speak to, I guess it's a different dynamic, you speak to councillors from all over the county.
Yes.
Are there real, you know, from whatever party there are there concerns about crimes in different parties? You've mentioned places like Harlow and Chelmsford and Colchester.
There are concerns, and of course, one of the first things the police authority will have to grapple with, and even the police commissioner when he comes in November, is selling off the real estate. And that ultimately means closing police stations. And that will not be very popular. And you can see, you know, why should we have to sell the family silver just to please Cameron and Osborne up in Whitehall? And that's where the blame lies. They were told, and I can only repeat this, they were told by Her Majesty's Inspectorate Constabulary 12% efficiency cuts are achievable, 20% you're into the bone. And that means less police officers. Can't run away from it. However, you know, the Chief Constable talks about the blueprint, about people working more efficiently, that's great. But there's only 24 hours in the day. And if you've got less people, it means there's less that people can do.
Gerard, thank you very much.